All right, so today I'm gonna do a walkthrough of my Clearwater 2200. This boat was built in 2021. I've had it now. This is gonna be my, coming up on my second full season with this boat. It has a Suzuki 175 on the back. And that gets me around 38 miles an hour, 41 at full speed. I'm gonna do a quick walkthrough of the boat and give a real evaluation of my thoughts of this boat 2 years into ownership. All right, I'm gonna start right at the console. So this is the console. I have a 9-inch Simrad Go unit. I have a standard Horizon radio with GPS, some music. These are the dials, and this is my kill switch, my wireless kill switch, and some ports for power. These are all the switches: nav, bilge, the live well. I'm actually in the process of replacing that switch. Cockpit, raw, and I have my Simrad attached to this, and this one is attached to the trim tabs, and there's a horn and then the trim tabs. Pretty straightforward, nothing special. I'm going to start the walkthrough. This is the stern of the boat. I have 2 compartments. This one I use mainly for storage. You have access to the bilge, the pumps, and this compartment houses the batteries. Has 2 batteries, and you can see it has connections for cushions for seating. I've never used them, but here we have the live well. Use it pretty often, really helpful. Got some rod holders here. Got 4 of them, and another 4 set rod holders on the top. Okay, making my way to the bow of the boat. At the console, the T-top. It's been pretty stable, pretty sturdy. No issues there. And as you get up, you see we have storage. There's 3 compartments up here. First one, I keep some fenders and ropes and a cast net. This one, keep my tackle, extra rope, just extra stuff. And the third one, I keep fenders and ropes. You can't have enough ropes on a boat. And all of these are supposed to be insulated. I've never really used them for that function, so I'm not sure. Here we have the anchor locker. I think I have a pretty small anchor. I have about 20 foot of chain attached to 200 foot of rope. So here in the Gulf, it's not too deep, so it should be fine. Rounding out the bow, I have my Minn Kota Terrova spot lock motor. Has a 72-inch shaft with the iPilot. And here we have the front of the console, which doubles as a cooler. I've used this quite a bit. Working my way back down the boat. Here we have the center console. It's a little junky in there right now, but got 3 batteries inside that's used for the trolling motor. You have access to all the electronics, all the cabling back there. And that's the basic walkthrough of the boat. All right, so I bought this boat from Champion Marine. It was rough in the beginning. Salesperson that I dealt with was no longer there. Promised a lot of stuff, and as a first-time boat buyer, I didn't get a lot of stuff in writing, which I should have. You know, lesson learned. Basically, when the boat was delivered, they promised me X, Y, and Z. The boat wasn't delivered with it. It wasn't on that paperwork. So he basically acted like I was making it up. So that was the first red flag for me with Champion Marine. The second red flag, and I'll tag a video up there, was the installation of the trolling motor. When the first time they installed it, it was a nightmare. It almost fell off. They just did a really shoddy job. Went back to the dealership, and at that point they had a new manager, Doug. Doug took it in and said, we'll take care of it, and he did. He actually took control of the situation, got the motor reinstalled, and 2 years into it, no issues. They did the last maintenance. They checked the plate, did some updates to it, but they did an awesome job. Doug basically saved the business for this company, because I was never going back to this company again. So this is a new plate they installed, much thicker. Actually looks kind of professionally done. So I'm gonna take her out for a quick spin test. So I decided to take the boat out on a nice, windy, rough day. It was blowing about 18 to 20. And it looks like it's performing pretty darn good there. A little bit of sway, but from my understanding, that's normal. You see there's some big waves. Let's see how she holds up. Overall, my experience with Champion Marine has been a good one, you know, based on when Doug started. Before Doug, it was a nightmare. And I think they've cleaned up their act a lot. So now I'm gonna go through some of the issues that I had with this boat. Issue number one, this console door has never worked correctly. It was not measured correctly. They said they were gonna fix it. They did half-assed job fixing it. I've adjusted it myself a little bit, but yeah, that was, I basically have to grind it down for it to be able to close properly. And still on the bottom you see it doesn't close, so water intrudes inside the console. Another thing, this material that these seats are made out of is not the best material in the world, but you know, this boat is not a $100,000, $200,000 boat. This is a budget boat. You're gonna get budget, you know, equipment. Overall, it's a well-built boat, but you know, some of the materials and, you know, equipment on the boat has not been, I wouldn't say top of the line, but that's to be expected. Now I'm going to talk to you about one of the big issues I've had with this boat. Right here, where I'm standing, where my feet is, it's soft. You actually feel the boat giving away when you step on it. So I brought it to the attention of Doug. They spoke to the manufacturer, so I'm gonna have to send the boat back to the manufacturer for them to reinforce the floor. And yeah, when I hit a big wave or something like that, you feel it giving away. I'm not sure if I'll fall through the floor, but that's just something to be concerned about. And they said they're gonna fix it. I'll give an update once that's completed, if it was done correctly. Another thing that I noticed is on the seat. You see it's cracked right there, you know, and basically the waterproofing, this seal right here, that came off, and they've tried to fix it a few times but were unable to do it. And you know, minor stuff, you know, screws coming out, that's gonna happen on any boat. You know, I'm not complaining too much about that. So 2 years into owning this boat, Overall, I'm very happy with the purchase. I mean, we all have our buyer's regret. One of my main regrets is that I didn't get a bigger boat in the beginning, just because it was new for me. I thought a 22-foot boat was huge when I saw this boat. I mean, I thought it was just massive. I didn't know how I was going to handle a boat this size. But, 2 years into it, you realize that everybody always wants a bigger boat. But when you go offshore like I do, 40, 50 plus miles offshore, and you run into some chop, some winds, 2-3 foot seas, you definitely see the advantage of a bigger boat. When I go out with some of my buddies who have bigger boats, I see them, cutting through those waves in a bigger boat. With a smaller boat, you're actually going down some of those troughs and up, so you can't ride on top of the waves. That's basically the best way to put it. As far as the boat, no major issues. Just some minor stuff. The engine, I had one issue, and it wasn't even an engine. It was the kill switch, where I was 50 miles offshore, and the kill switch, the battery died in the kill switch, but the bypass, the connection was loose, so it wouldn't bypass. So I was pretty much stuck out there until I figured that out. I wasn't too worried because I have a satellite transmitter, plus I have an EPIRB. On both of them, I keep in my life jacket, and when I'm boating solo, my life jacket stays on me. It's one of those things, you have to be safe, especially when you're 50 plus miles offshore. There is no getting on your cell phone and calling CETO. You're pretty much gonna have to call the Coast Guard to come and rescue you. So that's the only major issue that I could really think of. Overall, stuff like the bilge pump, going, that's normal maintenance. I replaced the live well pump and, replaced the switch. Overall, this boat has served me well. I am very pleased with it, and I felt like I got my money's worth. Like I said before in the beginning, this is not, $100,000, $200,000 boat. So I see people making complaints about this boat online in the various forums. And some of the complaints, it makes no sense. You go and you buy, a Hyundai, and you're expecting it to be a BMW or Mercedes, and you complain about the issues, and usually it's minor issues. It's so far with this dealership and with the manufacturer, all the issues that I've had in regards to craftsmanship, they fixed it. I spoke to Doug. He basically says, bring it in. They've taken care of it on the warranty. No stress on my end. So I'm not quite sure. Maybe those people that they're expecting something else. I'm not sure. But, overall, would I buy this boat again? Yes. But I would prefer I would buy the same boat, just a bigger version, the 28-foot version. But overall, I love it. It has served me well. I feel safe, like I said, offshore, 50 plus miles in this boat, 2-3 foot seas.
Headed back in after a successful night fishing. First time doing some night fishing with the full moon. We had a great time, but now we're dealing with 3 foot, 3.5 foot, 4 foot seas. Just trying to get back to the shore. Taking my time. Doing about 15 miles an hour. So hopefully we'll get there safely.
I feel safe in this boat. It's just like anything else in life. You have to go according to the conditions. If it's blowing 20 and 4 foot seas, you can't go 30 miles an hour in this boat, and probably even larger boats. When the conditions permit, I'm doing 40 plus miles an hour in this boat. But when the conditions go sideways, a few times it took me a trip from offshore to the dock that would have normally taken me 45 minutes to an hour, took me 3 hours just because the weather's bad. So it's one of those things you have to really look at the conditions and navigate the boat based on those conditions. Don't just assume that you can put the throttles down and you're gonna get there. You might get there, but you'll get beaten up, and you'll put a lot of stress on the actual boat itself and the engine. So it's just not worth it. Sometimes it's just worth just to take your sweet time get in safely, and that's about it.
goes, Clearwater boating.